Morning there, Brew Tube, AZ Home Brewer. Another video. This time it's going to be cleaning my brew day equipment. I just brewed up a blonde, and now this is my cleaning process of what I do every time for my HLT as well as my boil pot. So you get to see how I break everything down, clean everything up, put it all back together in preparation for the next brew day, so stick around. Okay, so obviously the first thing I want to do is I got a little 2-gallon ferment bucket that I've never fermented in. First thing I need to do is get some hot water going and get some PBW, not OxyClean. In another video that I did when I'm cleaning my carboys, I think I made a pretty good case of why. Sorry about that. I had a little technical difficulty with my iPad for the recording purposes. So as I was saying, I think I made a pretty good case of the reason why I only use OxyClean at a certain time frame of my brew day or my whole brew process itself. So basically what I did is I put about 2 tablespoons of my PBW into some hot water. I got that nice and set in my 2-gallon bucket. For the most part, it's just basically to soak all the small parts. So on my cleaning day process, the parts that I have is a sponge with the scrubber part. Now this is only for my brew stuff, not the shit in the sink. This goes back in my brew closet with my brew stuff. So this is only messed with beer related cleaning. So that way there's no like food gunk left over from your mom scrubbing or your wife scrubbing or you scrubbing. So make sure when you're doing your cleaning process, I suggest getting your own sponge for it. I also have a couple extra ones just in case I finally decide to say, hey, that one's enough, I'm gonna throw it out. Another one is a wire brush. I find it easier to clean all the Teflon off the threads by using this than trying to pick and unwind and everything. I just scrub it down real good and usually comes off pretty well. I like to use an adjustable wrench to take everything apart. If your forte is using actual like 7/8, 5/16, those kind of combo wrenches, knock yourself out. I just find it easier because there's different sizes of everything on those brew pots. Nice good old adjustable wrench process. And then last but not least, Teflon tape. So that way I put everything back together and have it ready for the next brew day. Because most of the time on brew day, I don't have time to be dicking with this because I'm busy doing other parts of my brew day. So that's pretty much what I get ready for, and now it's just for the disassembly. All right, sorry about the lights, by the way, for getting the glare. It's kind of hard to, in the kitchen, take a video without all this glare around. So basically, just coming around. All my connections and everything are all 1/2 inch. I don't know if that's usually the norm or whatnot. That's just what I use. So, as you can see, it has all that Teflon tape all around it for brew day. So I just come over here. Let's see. Just come around and a little back and forth action. Oh, be prepared when you're doing this. There's a good chance you might obviously hit your own finger, and it does hurt. So as you can see how easy it is to take all this off. Okay. And so this is my way of removing it. But I just saved myself a whole lot of time than trying to freaking find the end and unwind it constantly. 30 seconds of scrubbing in one little location, peeled it right off. Same thing goes for the thermometers or ball valves. None of this stuff is super tight. Obviously, it's enough to see. So I just took out of there. Look at all that gunk around my thermometer head. In fact, let me show you. This is what it looks like inside the orifice in there. This is the reason why we take everything apart and clean it. It's because of all this kind of nasty gunk that finds its way into a brew pot. And something like this, because it's still wet grain, something like this would actually spoil. It could possibly give you off flavors. It could add acids to your grain bill. Now sometimes you want an acid malt added, and sometimes you don't. Now I don't divulge too much into anything acid or sours. I'm not a sour fan whatsoever, but this will definitely help go towards that direction if that's something that you really, really want. So like I said, another quick little 30 seconds, bam, all the Teflon's off this bastard. This one, there's not much I do with the thermometer one, because it's all self-enclosed. I'll go ahead and scrub this a little bit and call this one good, because I don't want to mess with anything in here, even though it is an adjustable one. This is from Spike Brewery, about a $50 adjustable thermometer, so you can adjust the pitch any way you want on this thing. And the next piece, actually there's a few other pieces in here, but basically loosen up the balls off. I do use another wrench so I could take that piece off. And be careful you don't go in too, you grip it too hard, because you'll run the risk of damaging these threads when you do that. I'll take that one apart later. And then there's the last one in this, in my HLT, or excuse me, my mash tun. So I have my Vorloff line coming in. Still fairly simple. Take the 1/2-inch wrench. I got these fittings, by the way, from bargainfittings.com. And they are pretty much a bargain. So, everything comes apart quite nicely. Into the bucket it goes. Unscrew the top. And I didn't even loosen up that one. It was still pretty loose on itself, but loose enough to where it didn't leak. So once again, got Teflon tape. About 10 seconds. Comes right off. A little bit more, but you guys get the idea. And so this all comes apart, all these little pieces into the PBW, and then it's I'll take this apart a little bit later. If you're familiar with the 3-ball valve, there's nothing new that I could show you on that. And then it's cleaning the pot, so stick around. So one of the other parts of that I do when I'm cleaning, I forgot to mention, is I had a bottle brush. So that actually will fit right inside the threaded ports, help clean out any junk that might be in there, as well as any remnants of any Teflon tape. Alright, so now I got everything broke down for my mash tun. And then down here, well, you can see all that, are all my parts in this solution. Basically, that right there is going to sit, because the good thing about PBW is it's you don't have to scrub to help clean it. Just like the longer it sits in the solution, the cleaner it will get. So most of the time during my brew process, all the small stuff I'll just keep inside the bucket and just let it sit in there throughout. If it needs a little scrubbing, I go ahead and do that. Same thing with like all the dip tubes. Like all the dip tubes, I'll go ahead, you know, just normal cleaning kind of thing. So I'll do all that. But basically now it's time for the big boy over here. What I usually sometimes do, so I'll just go ahead and put a little bit more PBW on the inside. Doesn't need to be a whole lot, you know, just because you want to make enough just to make a water slurry kind of thing, because you don't need a whole lot because you're going to be scrubbing in there. So I do have like a little bit of water in there, and it's not very difficult. Take the sponge. With the stainless, I use the scrubby part, scrubby side. Anything plastic, you do not want to use any kind of abrasive material, because that will allow bacteria and everything else to get inside those little nooks and crannies, and then you can't really just can't ever really use it for what it's intended, because you're always going to have a sour batch of something if that's not what you're intending. Now, on brew day itself, I actually rinse this thing out. I didn't do it with my boil kettle, but with my mash tun, I'll actually rinse all the grains, dump all the grains out, throw a little bit of water through there, just try to drain as much as I can, so that way it's not super bad when I'm doing brew day. And just scrub around. You see any spots that need to get scrubbed, go ahead and scrub. I mean, it's not a difficult task. It's much like doing a car. So when I rinse this thing out, there's a little bit of that mucky water in there. So basically, that's all the remnants. Basically, I'll just rinse that out. Rinse and scrub the outside if I need to, and then I let everything else dry. Now I'll also scrub my false bottom. I'll scrub that as well. I've already took a toothpick, cleaned out any of the grains that might have stayed inside my little slots. So I'll scrub this, and then I'll scrub down the lid. That'll be it for the cleaning part for my mash tun. Okay, so my mash tun is all cleaned up. See that behind me? I'll show you a closer picture later on. So now comes the one that most of the time most people dread, because this is my boil kettle. This is the one that has all the trub and everything. So if I'll show you. So there it is. The trub, all the hot break, and all the other nasty stuff. So you can see how gross, how dirty, and usually how the boil kettle goes. This is where it's definitely more important to make sure that you take everything apart after brew day, in order to make sure you get every little nook and cranny cleaned out. Obviously, your guys' brew pod is going to be different than my setup. It might be similar. So just, take it for what it's worth, of how I feel, how important it is to take everything apart. It's kind of like my other cleaning video. I told you how I got almost a cross-contamination. Since then, that's the reason why I take everything apart. That way there is no second guessing. You're not wasting money on a grain bill. You're not wasting beer down the drain. This takes a couple minutes to make sure everything's nice and clean before you proceed on. Show you a couple examples of the importance of doing it, especially in these parts are only in my Whirlpool transfer tube. So it came from this whole system right here. You can see in there, trapped inside the threads. That's all, you know, hops and hot break. You know, this is the kind of stuff that's going to give you nasty ass beer. Uh, Once again, just shows the importance of making sure everything's broke down and clean. Don't half-ass it, because it'll bite you in the ass if you half-ass it. And it did me. And you half-ass it, it's going to happen to you too. Another couple examples. This time it's from the ball valve after transferring the wort. So, you can see all that gunk. Let's see if I can concentrate on that. You can see all that gunk that's in there. This one, obviously, you'd be able to identify a little bit more. This one would be the tougher one, because you wouldn't know that this is bad unless you took it apart. So there's all that hop right there. Now, obviously, this thing doesn't go all the way down, but it'll stop, you know, a couple threads in. So it'll collect in between the end of this and where the ball is at the other end. So once again, this is just ensuring that everything's completely clean to make sure you get a good beer later on. Once again, the importance of taking everything apart. All right, same process as before. I went ahead and got rid of most of the trub and everything else in there. So just a little amount of PBW. Love this stuff. Just take your sponge once again. Just rub it dub. Now, obviously, it's going to be a little difficult to clean around where the rivets are. Obviously, so that's one of those just things is that so just use your best judgment for it. Try to get the best you can. It doesn't take much, especially on these brew pots, to clean it. And especially since they're stainless steel. Alright, so you see, I've only been maybe scrubbing for maybe a minute, maybe a little bit more. Figure to show you what's being left behind. So let's turn this around. So, there you go. That's some dark green crap right there. That's getting cleaned off. So basically, I'm just going to spend a couple more minutes scrubbing inside and outside, scrubbing all the parts. All right, everything's nice and clean. Got everything laid out on both. This is my mash tun, and this is everything from my boil kettle from Brew. So everything's nice and clean. Inside that one, Spec Brewery. I clean it. I put the false bottom in there just so it's an easier place to put everything. So I wanted to show you just from the parts here on the paper towels, just from those. This is the condition of the PBW water that's in there, and you can see all the remnants of everything there in the center. I kind of whirlpooled it just a little bit just to make sure I got everything out. That's a good thing about laying out all my parts, is to make sure that I know I got everything before I dump this murky water down my drain. And then let's say I was supposed to have another O-ring or a lock washer gone. So this is just a good way to make sure that you have everything accounted for prior to doing anything else. So other than that, if you have any other questions, comments, concerns, or any other videos you'd like for me to do, just go and put it down in the comments below. Like, share, do whatever you want. I don't care. I'm going to be doing this videos over and over again anyway. So this is AZ Homebrewer. Have a happy and safe new year, and I'll see you next year.